In terms of quality, this is actually way better than the Worker Harrier. Hello, what is up guys? I'm your host Gordon and welcome to another one of my video. What I got over here is a PDW Razor Foam Dart Blaster. This over here is a pump action high performance foam dart blaster that is based on a Cliburn platform. This over here could have been the best foam dart blaster ever made, just that it made a very crucial mistake, and I'm going to tell you what it is right after I thank Mac Potato for sending in this blaster for today's review. Mac Potato, a local Malaysia online foam dart blaster seller who sells rare imported foam dart blaster just like this guy over here. So if you guys are interested with one of these, all the necessary information will be provided in the description down below. Okay, first look at the blaster. As you can see, the aesthetic of the blaster, holy moly, is super striking. I mean, it is very heavy the moment you hold the blaster on hand. Well, because this blaster is made out of a combination of nylon and metal. When I say metal, I mean serious metal. I mean the entire front part as well as the middle top part of the blaster is made out of CNC aluminum, and the entire lower receiver as well as the buttstock and the priming grip in front of the blaster is made out of nylon. Of course, the priming bar is made out of metal. Oh yeah, there is another thinner priming bar inside of the blaster over here, and in the middle of here there is a thicker priming bar to stabilize the entire priming mechanism, therefore adding more weight. No wonder this blaster felt super heavy, and the color scheme of the blaster definitely not something that you would bring out to the public. I mean, this whole blaster is a little too dark. I do hope that they do come out something like a brighter color, maybe something like a white lower receiver or something like that. And speaking of why I said that this could be the best blaster in the market at the beginning of the video, very self-explanatory. I mean, the entire build quality of this blaster is super amazing, and not to mention that the price point of this blaster is rather competitive, about the same price of a Worker Harrier in Malaysia. With that price, it also comes with more metal parts in the body. Just that I do mention that in the beginning of the video that they actually made a very crucial mistake. This blaster should have taken off like very long time ago. You know what they did? This blaster over here runs a proprietary magazine. Isn't that disappointing? I mean, if this blaster runs a Talon mag, there will be no place for the Worker Swift or the Worker Harrier. But unfortunately, it is what it is. Most of these imported blasters just wanted to, you know, one day people are gonna use my mag kind of situation. So yeah, it happens. But let us put it aside and take a closer look at the blaster over here. In terms of Picatinny rails, the blaster only comes with a tiny roll of Picatinny rails on top of the blaster for your scope of choice. I've chosen a sniper scope just for style, and of course another small row of Picatinny rail at the front of the blaster for maybe something like an iron sight or maybe like a Pack 15 if you're into that kind of stuff. If you notice that there's like 2 screw holes at the body of the blaster, that is for additional Picatinny rails if you need more Picatinny rails, and of course another roll of Picatinny rails at the priming handle for you to install something like a priming grip, which of course I will, because priming the blaster without a priming grip kind of felt a little weird though. In terms of buttstock, this is not an adjustable buttstock. You're pretty much stuck with the length over here, but this is actually a very comfortable buttstock. There is a cheek rest over here for you to, you know, rest your cheek just like so. I would say a pretty decent and comfortable length for a tall guy like me. The grip of the blaster is one of those AR style grip, and of course the trigger pull is comfortable. I thought I would be getting a metal trigger, but unfortunately it is a nylon trigger, and the mag release lever is located in front of the trigger over here, which kind of acts like a trigger guard as well. Pretty slick integration. The blaster comes with a very long spring, which means that we are kind of expecting a very light prime, but out of expectation, the priming is actually kind of hard though. I mean, it is actually very obvious to the naked eye this is not a very strong spring, but I personally do not understand why that we need to put so much strength in priming the blaster. No slam fire. Definitely going to test the performance out and see how this thing goes. And of course, out of the box, the blaster actually comes with 2 barrels, a longer barrel, which is the one that I installed over here, and of course a shorter barrel. I actually pre-installed the barrel over here. By having the shorter barrel, you will not have such protrusion. It will just stay flush in the red muzzle. But by using the shorter barrel, you wouldn't have too much of a scar option that you can put on. Therefore, I go with a slightly longer barrel over here, at least 1.5 inches longer, for you to put all sorts of scar barrel. Removing the barrel is very straightforward. There is actually 3 screws at the front of the blaster and 1 screw on top of the blaster. By doing so, you'll be able to remove it. But be warned guys, the installation is not as easy as the Worker area due to the presence of a very strong return spring. But to be honest, definitely a big fan of the return spring over here. Really enjoy that I can actually release my hand after priming the blaster. And the air seal of the blaster is actually pretty good. Near perfect, I would say. So yep, without further ado, let us go test the blaster out. Okay, we are back, guys. So the performance of the blaster, I would say pretty standard. The blaster can fire around 147 FPS all the way to 153 FPS. A very decent performance, I would say, due to the FPS restriction in their country. And in terms of accuracy, very similar with the Dart Zone Max Strikers, the Nexus Pros. I mean, hitting a target in around 9 to 10 meters is definitely not too much of an issue. And of course, the most important thing, handling this blaster, I did not encounter any jams, which is a good thing. Other than the tougher than usual priming, everything is smooth sailing. The barrel swapping part though is a little difficult. The return spring is always in the way, blocking the barrel path when you are trying to, like, you know, push the barrel in. Especially if you have huge hands, finicking in such a tight space can be quite challenging. And will this blaster passes the wall test? Of course, this blaster passes the wall test with flying colors. I mean, take a look at the aesthetic, take a look at the design. This thing looks superbly amazing. Like, putting this blaster together with like a wall of airsoft guns definitely will not look out of place. So yep, I guess that's all the quirks and features of the blaster. A very simple blaster, I would say. And if you guys like this video, feel free to smash the like button. I'll be posting video every Saturday, so do remember to click on the subscribe button as well as the notification bell. So yep, Gordon is checking out, and I'm going to see you guys in the next video. Yadios, guys!